Hello friends, this is Chitra Bhardwaj welcoming you all to the channel Learn Sanskrit. Please subscribe to our channel and please share your comments in the section below. And if you want us to cover any topic of your interest, do share that with us and do subscribe. Today we are going to talk about Sanskrit literature. We are going to go for a little survey about this, that how the Sanskrit literature is classified and what are the components of Sanskrit literature. When we talk about Sanskrit, the very word makes us think about ancient tradition and culture of Indian subcontinent. And in that perspective, we look for the sources or say literature. What are the literature in Sanskrit? Everyone knows that Rig Veda is considered to be the oldest text in the world. Sanskrit literature is divided into two parts. One is Vedic, another is classical. And in Vedic also we have Samhita Bhag and Brahman Bhag. Bhag means part. So Samhita Bhag is further divided into four Vedas, that are Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Atharva Veda. Brahman part is divided or say is comprised of three parts, that is Brahmana, Aranyak, Upanishads. We are going to look into the small details of these parts because in my further videos we are going to discuss about these things, these parts or these topics in quite detail. The very word Veda is derived from the root Vid. Vid means to attain knowledge or to attain, to know something. So the very basic meaning of Vedas becomes to understand or to learn or to attain knowledge. So all these Vedas have some knowledge about different aspects of life or their subject. First, Rig Veda, which is considered to be the oldest text or in the world. We should understand that Rig Veda's composition is composed in 10 mandalas, and those mandals have hymns, and hymns are further divided into mantras or verses. Rig Veda has 10 mandalas which are further subdivided into 1028 hymns or sukta, and those have mantras in it. So what is sukta? Sukta or hymn? Sukta or hymns is an English word for Hindi sukta or Sanskrit sukta. What is sukta or hymn? Hymn is actually a particular topic on which the verses or mantras are created. For example, the very first hymn is Agni, is devoted to Agni. In the first mandal of Rig Veda, the Rishi talks about Agni. So the full hymn is actually devoted to Agni Dev, and all the verses or say mantras are for Agni Dev. So this is the composition of Rig Veda. Then we go to Yajur Veda. As the name itself suggests, that Yajur Veda deals with the rules of doing the sacrifices or say Yajja. Next Veda is Sam Veda. Sam Veda is comprised of nothing but the mantras of Rig Veda which are able to be sung or which can be sung. So all the mantras of Sam Veda are basically those that can be sung, or that's why it is said that Indian classical music finds its root in Sam Veda. Sare Gama Padha Nisa, the Sargam, has its roots from Sam Veda itself. Sam Veda, the name Sam is for Sangeet or say music. Sam is for Sangeet, music. Next is Atharva Veda. It is said that Atharva Veda is out of these four Vedas the most nearer to the life of common people, because in this Veda there is nothing of like sacrifice or yagya. It deals with the things the common Indian people of that society used to follow or preach. Like example, it has some majestic or say magical things about how to cure a disease or about how to go for a particular wish in a particular manner, if you want to get a wish fulfilled. So yeah, Atharva Veda tells you about some small deeds to be done in order to attain or fulfill those desires. So that is why it is said that Atharva Veda is most nearer to the life of people of that time. What is Samhita? Samhita is a part that contains mantra or say verses, and those mantra or verses had their explanation in the later part, that was Brahmana. In order of chronology, if we talk about Vedic Sahitya or say Vedic literature, so Vedic literature, these Vedas are earlier to the Brahmana parts. Brahmanas are later in order of time from those Vedas. And in Brahmana section also there is a division into three parts: Brahmana, Aranyak and Upanishad. Every single Veda has its own Brahmana. So there are several Brahmana. We are going to talk about all the Brahmanas in detail in the upcoming videos, when we are going to discuss solely about Brahmana part. But here we need to understand what does the Brahmana, this book actually has as a content. Brahmana are the basic explanation to the sacrifices, or say whatever is written in the Veda is actually explained in the Brahmana. All the cosmic or philosophical thought of rishis are explained in Brahmanas. Aranyak next comes in this ladder comes Aranyak. Aranyak is also called as forest books. What does Aranyak means? Aranyak, the shabd is itself derived from Aranya. Aranya means forest. Aranya means forest. Forest books. Why forest books? Because these books are actually written, or they were to be dealt while a person is in Vanprasth. We are going to talk about these ashram doctrines, and I'm going to explain you about this. Here, Aranyak is forest books which a person actually reads while he is in forest or Vanprastha ashram, or say he is a hermit, forest hermit. So forest hermits, what do they read? They read all the philosophical aspects of the Vedas, and here we need to understand that Veda even had their own Aranyaks. So once in one type you can understand that, like for example, these are the appendices to this Brahmana part. So after the later comes Upanishads. Upanishads are the last part of Ved. That is why they are called as Vedanta. But we should not understand it to be Ved's Antaha, or say end of Ved, but we should understand it some aim of Vedas, not as an end of Vedas. Why? Because Upanishads have all the philosophical thought. Here in these books we don't have the rules or the sacrifice, how to go for a yagya or how to do a sacrifice. What we are actually reading here is where in Upanishad we have the philosophical or mystic thought that is embedded in those sacrificial performances which are to be done according to the Vedas. So here is an explanation, or say a quest to look for the philosophical side of these Vedic parts. Here we need to understand one more literature part of Sanskrit, that is Vedangas. What are these Vedangas? These are 6 parts, or say 6 disciplines to understand Vedic literature in a better form. These were taught while teaching Vedic literature. What are these Vedangas? Phonetics, rituals, grammar, etymology, metric, astronomy. These are 6 Vedangas. Let's move to the next segment of the Sanskrit literature. When we initially said that Vedic literature is classified into 2 heads, that is Vedic Sanskrit and classical Sanskrit. One part we have dealt with, next part is a classical Sanskrit literature. In classical Sanskrit literature, the very first literature is Ramayana. Ramayana is said to be the Adi Kavya. Adi means the first, and that's why the creator of Ramayana, Maharishi Valmiki, is said to be the Adi Kavi. Ramayana is divided into 7 kands. We are going to discuss all these in our next video that are going to be dedicated to this particular topic itself. In the next ladder in the classical literature comes Mahabharata. Mahabharata is composed by Maharishi Vedavyas. Why Ved? Because it's said that he was known, he knew all the Vedas very well. That's why the name Vedavyas is said. Mahabharata is divided into 18 parvas. After this comes Puran. Puran is actually 18 in numbers. Puran are 18 in numbers. The name Puran is because the Puran means ancient. These have the narratives and the stories in it. Regarding each and every Puran, there is a particular story behind it. So these are 18 in numbers. So the classical Sanskrit literature has three heads, or we can say components. That means Ramayana, Mahabharata and Puran. So this is a division of Sanskrit literature in two parts, Vedic and classical. There is one more division that is very much famous in scholars, that is about the timing of the literature, and they classify the literature in three parts. What are those? Those are ancient, medieval and modern. How does this classification is done? It's very important to note that they call all this Vedic literature to be the ancient literature and classical literature to be the medieval literature, and all the literature that was composed after the India's independence was considered to be in the modern literature, starting from Shivaraj Vijay of Ambika Dutt Vyas. So this is how we actually classify Sanskrit literature. This was a survey. This is the way how we classify Sanskrit literature. One on the parameters of Vedic and classical literature, and another on the parameter of timing, that is ancient, medieval and modern. So this is how we do the division of Sanskrit literature. Thank you. If you don't want to miss on this journey of learning Sanskrit, so please do subscribe to our channel and share your comments with us. And if you want us to cover any topic of your interest, please share that with us. Thank you.